Hey guys, it's me Chandragan, and today's video is about who should you pull edition, but I think this time is more into character review because I believe most of you will pull for Furina, but hey, because this is my tradition, I will usually highlight like each of these character in the banner about what the pros and cons, what the recommendation to pull or not, and get early Constellation or the signature weapon. So yeah, let's get started. So let's start first with the most beloved Archon or even the most annoying Archon.
Furina the Fontaine!
So yeah, let's talk the good about her, which is first is that she is very good sub DPS and also buffer in the same time. Of course, if you want just talk about like the application itself, it's a little bit below from Xingqiu and Yelan. But in the end, it's still pretty much nice overall because she also provide buff entire party that Xingqiu and Yelan didn't offer, so it's kind of fair. And second, it's also make healer become relevant. It's literally make like healer very necessary. It doesn't like matter if you need to dodge or not. You still need healer in Furina. So before, like I say, if you can dodge, you don't need healer. Now you have to if you want to play with Furina. So it makes healer relevant. So the character like Jin and Baizhu become like more relevant. And the next one, which is it create new team which is fresh, different than before. It's not just like you putting like Hyper Bloom and you just change maybe with Alhaitham, you change it with maybe Cyno, you change with maybe another like character, but every single setup is probably just about the same. But right now with Furina, it's kind of quite completely changed. No, of course, like 100% change, but kind of 50% of them is changed. Let's say in the Hyper Bloom, before like you don't really need Baizhu, now you kind of need Baizhu. On some of the kind of Gazer or Hydro related, before you don't even need to put Jin, you put Kazo on. So of course now you need to put Jin instead of Kazo, and so of course it kind of make like replacement which is different than traditional team building, which is it feels fresh and nice though. I never used Jin in very long time. Finally I use again and I feel so nice. Just didn't keep using Kazuha. And the next one is that she's actually a flexible character. I try in different team. Basically, it just work even in a very funny Noel team. It's not meta, of course, but it can work surprisingly. So yeah, you want like Vaporize, you want Hyper. Most of the case, she can cover everything though, which is pretty good in that. And the next one is that she basically can also enable all the CS can use the Hunter set because Furina really just manipulate all the HP going up and down, so the Hunter set can work with any main DPS right now. So thanks to Furina, if you want to pair with Furina, you can use that set though, literally. And the next one, in terms of exploration, she is actually very good. You don't need even Ice Bridge anymore, and even the skill is 100% uptime, so it's very convenient if you want to kind of walk above water or something like that. And let's talk the cons or negative things about Furina is that first that I noticed right away that it actually really need a specific killer in order to be optimal. Because like right now that I feel very optimal right now for Furina, it's the type of healer that can heal everyone in the same time and heal over time. And right now that I say Jin or other than that Kokomi, Baizhu, Yao Yao, most of them that actually can work. Mika also can, but sadly I haven't built. Sayu I haven't built. So I end up only use those three because I don't have Baizhus. And then because of that, I tried to use Cookie, I tried to Bennett. Yeah, it can work, but doesn't feel so optimal. It's very hard to heal everyone. It feels like, yeah, quite specific in terms of healer, and that makes a little bit restrictive in terms of team building for the healer itself. And second, compared to other old team that I usually play, in Furina team, the whole team usually tend to be more vulnerable, like easier to die, because like Furina keep draining HP. Sometimes I don't realize my HP is already very low, it's already red, and I have to getting back using Jin or other healer to getting back my HP. So it's quite vulnerable compared to other like old team. So yeah, you have to be careful in that to keep on mind. And the third, which is this is only for meta player. So I did some testing and I feel most of the team of Furina itself is quite competitive, or it's just about the same level with the old team. It doesn't feel like it's exceeding or like become better. So it feels like it's just like side grade. It's not like an upgrade. So probably for meta player, they kind of a little bit disappoint. Even there's some of the upgrade, it's just minimal and it feels like can be ignored even. And the last one, this is actually not Furina problem, but Hydro element, because they are actually very competitive in terms of the character itself though. Hydro have a lot of good character from Furina, Yelan, Xingqiu, Kokomi, even Child's very good, Nibelet, Ayato. Most of them is very good. It's become like very super competitive and you don't need actually all of them though. So because of that, too competitive until come to the point if you already have like some of them, it's not really important to get another one. And for my recommendation for you to pull Furina is first, if you need a versatile character, then Furina is one of it. Because usually Argon is really very versatile and so does Furina. You can play in different teams, you can play in different reactions, you basically can cover that. That's a good thing. And second, if you need a solid sub DPS and buffer, then pull for Furina though. You actually buff your damage. Overall also become a quite relatively good sub DPS. So yeah, it can be a very solid unit overall that have like multiple like kind of stuff besides not just like dealing damage. Buffing, that's good, nice additional thing. And the next one, if you want to play for a non-traditional team, then you might be like Furina, because in Furina, let's say you literally play like a lot of characters that not usually use, let's say Mika, Jin, Baizhu. You can even have to use some twists like usually use Kazuo, change with Jin, and something like that. So it feels non-traditional than before. So if you kind of like to try something new, then Furina is one of the recommendation for you to try. And the next one, if you are a new player or beginner, I actually quite recommend for you to pull for Furina, because it mostly synergizes well with the quite early character. Let's say Barbara, let's say you pull character like fast you get Chi or Jin. Yeah, those standard characters usually work. And I remember when you're a beginner, you tend to pull healer, right? So yeah, healer really working at Furina. So I think for a new player, beginner, it can pretty much give you a meaningful impact. And the next one, if you Jin or Baizhu, man, not just them actually, some of the healer that can heal everyone that synergize well with Furina, let's say Sayu, Mika, maybe you are main of those characters, you really like those and you want to make them actually feel meaningful, then get Furina, because Furina will make them look actually useful though, and very help Furina itself though. And the next one, if you like of course the gameplay and character, then pull Furina. And the last one, if you Archon collector, then pull for Furina. And my recommendation to not pull for Furina is that first, if you already have enough Hydro unit, you feel, let's say you already have Yalan, Sinchor, Kokomi, and you don't feel you need another like Hydro, and I don't really recommend for you to pull Furina, because I don't think it will contribute that much anymore. At the best, it just becomes side grade or your additional unit that you can just switch out between each other. Although Furina is still useful, but it doesn't feel like it will maybe give you more impact though than what you expect. And the second, if you're not really enjoying with the new HP gimmick, I know some of you don't really like, especially right now you have to use healer, a little bit restrictive in some of the team building, and the gimmick it's kind of different and traditional, and you find it's kind of you don't like it, then don't pull for Furina, because yeah, following those gimmick, it's actually a must for Furina. If not, it will not feel like efficient at all. And the last one, if you already expect that she will be better than Shincho, will be better than Yelan, and I say again, she is not. She is very good, she is very strong, very useful, but she did a different job than Yelan and Shincho, and she's not even excelling Shincho and Yelan, especially in terms of application. So if you expect something that more than Shincho and Yelan, don't pull for Furina, because she is not the one. She did different stuff. Second character is Baizhu. The pros about Baizhu is that first, he's basically a good healer in general, because he heals a lot and usually enough for most of the cases though in Genshin Impact. And then also he can work as a driver in Dendro, because of course he's catalyst, so he can become a driver, although it's not really as good as Naida, but at least it can work like as a substitution, so that's a plus for him. And second, he's basically also another one of the best healer for Furina, because I say that Furina really make the value of a healer increase, and also make the value of Baizhu become increased, because he kind of synergize pretty good with Furina, especially in the Dendro team though. So if you kind of want one of the best healer for Furina, then yeah, Baizhu is one of them. And third, he provides a resistant interruption, which is nice. So besides healing, unlike like Yao only provide healing, although she heal a lot, but doesn't have any resistant interruption. But Baizhu have that, so that's actually pretty good, nice addition for me. And for the cons about Baizhu is that first, his energy recharge requirement considered high, at least for me. So for some team that kind of regenerates so much particle energy, or their bar scores is kind of pretty much high in overall of them, and Baizhu pretty much can struggle to get like enough energy for burst on time. So because of that, sometimes his requirement of the ER can be very high. So because of that, maybe you need to put some of the catalysts that have even energy regeneration, or even you need the signature, or even you need to sacrifice for some of your healing to put energy recharge yourself, and that's actually quite troublesome to make it a balanced stat though. And second point is that besides Baizhu, there's actually a lot of different alternative or even good healer, and they are even 4-star. One of them of course is Yaoyo itself. They're technically the same. It's just like maybe Baizhu perform a little bit better in Furina team itself compared to Yaoyo, but that's it though. Other than that, Yaoyo is pretty much same with Baizhu itself. Besides also the resistant interruption, you still have also Kokomi, we have Bennett, and other 4-star healer that even good itself that you can substitute with Baizhu. And Baizhu is expensive because he's 5-star though. And the last one, this is not really crucial, but I will just say that his shield is actually just a joke, because his shield is actually very thin, so you still receive damage. So basically the main kind of point in Baizhu is healing, not because the shield. So because of that, it just gives you the vibe of pseudo shield. And my recommendation to pull Baizhu is that first, if you are Cyno or even Furina fans itself, or really like to use this both of the character, then I really recommend to pull for Baizhu itself, because they actually synergize well with Furina and Cyno itself. Because I already say, like, compared to Yaoyao in Furina team, Baizhu is a little bit better actually compared to Yaoyao itself. So it makes at least Baizhu feels a lot more valuable. And also in Cyno team, Baizhu can be more optimal in compared to Yaoyao, because he provides the resistance interaction, which is what Cyno needs. So it's actually improved quality of life of Cyno itself if you're Cyno main or Furina main, something like that. Second, if you're still a good healer, basically Baizhu can be a good option itself, although Genshin healer is not really super important. But hey, if you still need a good healer, Baizhu is one of it though. Baizhu is still a good healer in general. And of course, the last one, if you like the character or the gameplay itself, then pull for Baizhu. And my recommendation to not pull for Baizhu is that first, if you still need to improve your team DPS, let's say whatever on field or off field, then don't pull for Baizhu, because I say in Genshin, DPS is more important than killing though. So if you still want to prioritize your team damage, don't pull for Baizhu. Baizhu will not improve your team damage overall. It's just give you more safetiness, which you can even get in other 4-star, and just prioritize more for the damage. At least that's for my recommendation. And the next one, if you already have enough healer, let's say you already have Yaoyao, Kokomi, Bennett, you have maybe already Cookie, and other like Jin, something like that, I don't really recommend, because honestly, I don't really use of all of them my healer every single time though. And the next character is Cyno the Adventurer, the best that jokes in whole Tepiat.
Mine was Adventurer Cyno.
And let's start with the pros about him. And the first one is that he's basically good electro DPS. Some people say, oh, he's really bad, something like that. No, really, I never struggle using Cyno and Viral Beast in every single like hard content itself, because he's generally okay. He's not super like broken or like very high like you expect like Huto, but everything is pretty much decent and good enough for me as a electro DPS. So that's why I say he's good electro DPS general. And second, he's basically good in Quick Bloom or Hyper Bloom. Basically, his damage is actually more stand out compared to playing in Aggravate. So if you want really to play in something Quick Bloom and Hyper Bloom, then yeah, maybe you will like Cyno. And third, the gameplay of Cyno is very agile or quite agile. So some of people find this is annoying, but some of people find this is actually a fun way to play. For me, this is a fun way to play, because not so much agile character in Genshin Impact. Most of them is relatively slow in Genshin. Genshin is slower tempo combat, but Cyno is actually faster. So like because of that, it gives me some of different feeling that actually I enjoy to playing this type of character. And the last one is that he is getting better than before, especially right now, Furina Cons, right? And then pairing with Furina, he has another new variation of team, which is bring him another pros or positive side, which is he can finally stay in the field longer, although the hydro application will become worse, but at least he can stay on the burst state longer than before. So this is another way for you to play, and it's actually make it better for Cyno. As for cons or negative things about Cyno, the first is that Nahida quite necessary for Cyno, or I have to say Cyno is Nahida dependent, because without Nahida, Cyno will feel so not good to play though. And with Nahida, it feels good to play. So Nahida is kind of massive jump for me to make Cyno become good though. It's very different with Alhaitham if you kind of wonder, right? If you don't pair Alhaitham with Nahida, it will fine, although you can feel there's a noticeable difference. But with Cyno, it cannot. It feels so much different. And second is that Cyno is typical character that is not easy to play. He need learning curve, at least kinda you need to use to it, because the burst is actually long, he attack quite fast, so you need reflect, you need also to reflect to dodge to not getting interrupted, and he also need to use the skill on the right timing, if not you will lose damage. So a lot of stuff for you to taking care of. It's not really that convenient compared to Huto. We can just close out your eye, charge attack 100k. No, Cyno cannot do, like you need to take care of a lot of stuff, need learning curve, so it's not really easy to play though. And third is that until right now, Cyno cannot utilize the full burst duration, and I'm so confused why they decide to make the burst very long like that. Even with Furina that I thought it can fix, but it's actually not. Yeah, it's longer but still not full duration, so feels like his kit not really utilized 100% and feel wasted. And the last one, besides Cyno, actually Cyno have another competition, which is Cookie and Kaching. They're pretty much around the same. If you want in Hyper Room, you have Cookie, which technically 4-star character, easier to obtain. And if you want to play in Aggravate, you even have Kaching, and Kaching even better in Aggravate compared to Cyno. So because of it has like a lot of substitute to make it, the value is not really that high. As for the recommendation for me to pull Cyno is, first, if you like the character or the gameplay, then pull for Cyno the Adventurer. Because for me, I really like Cyno. I really enjoy his gameplay. That's why I pull. Although I know his damage is not like crazy like Huto, but hey, I really enjoyed using him. Every single abyss, I enjoyed so much using Cyno. It feels so much like satisfaction compared like I just use Hu Tao. I don't know why. It's just probably my own satisfaction. So if you feel like that you like it, then just pull. It gives you like kind of happiness. And second is that if you really enjoy active or big brain gameplay like that, you want to make yourself work harder than before, then yeah, pull for Cyno because you need to take care of a lot of stuff. You need to press the skill on the right timing. If you use Thundering Fury, you need to even taking a lot more stuff though. You need to dodge, you need to make sure to don't die, make sure to know where you should use your burst. Yeah, it's kind of big brain gameplay sometimes. And third, that if you enjoy to try variant of like Hyper Bloom besides just Cookie, then try Cyno. And the next one, the reason for you to not pull, as for my recommendation, is that don't pull if you don't like complicated gameplay character though. If you just want to enjoy to pull like character very straightforward like Nevelet or Hu Tao or just Ganyu just charge attack or Liney, something like that, then don't pull for Cyno. Cyno is a lot stuff happen. You may not like it though. And second is that if you need a meta character, don't pull for Cyno. Cyno is not really meta, although he can work in meta team, which is Hyper Bloom, but he's not a meta character by himself. And third is that if you don't have Nahida, I don't really recommend to pull for Cyno. It feels not great, at least my friends say to me, and I kind of can relate to. And the last one, if you already have more than 4 main DPS, then you don't need to pull more DPS, because I already say if you have too much DPS, even you will not use all of them, so you will end up bench, so you don't need more than 4. I usually find like 4 is a good spot for you to have enough main DPS. And then after that, I already say that main DPS is really come every single patch. So last one is what? Nevelet and Risley, right? Another one is Liney. Every single patch you will have main DPS, so you should not worry to not have them like every single patch. They will have though. You should worry more like Nahida when they will run something like that compared to main DPS. The last character, which is Ayato, the boba milk tea guy. Let's talk of the pros about him. Is the first, he is relatively a good hydro DPS in general. He deal good damage overall, pretty much positive about him. And second is that he's flexible in terms of role, because his skill is basically only main DPS, right, on field. But his burst is like what? Same like Ganyu that can utilize as a sub DPS. So it open like while like him for him to not only as a main DPS but can be like sub DPS, although not pure sub DPS, but at least can become flexible in terms of role. So because of that, it's basically work in a lot of team reaction though. If you kind of think again, he can work in basically in almost every single team. Vaporize, Bloom, Hyper Bloom even can. Whatever, freeze, yeah, he can work in most of the hydro related reaction, and that's good though. It's actually wide range of covering in team reaction. And the last one is actually convenient to play, because basically you just need to hold your mouse and that's it. That's actually very convenient, at least for me. And let's talk the cons about Ayato itself, which is first, over competitive in hydro element. If we just count like 5-star itself for the character in hydro, although actually very good. And now we just put Ayato, then yeah, they're basically just battle royale. Which one is best one? I don't know. All of them actually good. So because of that, it's hyper competitive, and we don't even need all of them. We only probably need like 2 or 3 of them, and then actually enough. So because of that, it makes like the value of Ayato also pretty much can be up or down very fast, depends on like how much hydro that you have, because it's just over competitive. And second, this is why also like Ayato usually not become the prioritize of your choice in hydro character, because he can like cover in a lot of team reaction, but the problem is that he's not really excelling in those teams. They are just like decent or okay or good in general, but not really super very good. Let's say Yelan can be very good, right? If you pair with double hydro with Hu Tao, right? That in Vaporize also can work very good, mostly in Hyper Bloom, something like that. And Mona can work in Morgana. Coco is very good in Freeze, especially with Ayaka. So that's usually the very good one. And then Nevelet, like basically very good carry DPS, like on field, that even better than Ayato. And Furina itself, very good buffer. So put like of the position of Ayato, he's kinda ambiguous, that don't really excel in anything, but he's more flexible than them. So he only offer flexibility, but non-excel in any of them, which is. As for my recommendation for you to pull Ayato is, first, if you need a good hydro unit, then pull for him. And second, if you need easy character to play, basically pull for Ayato. He is actually as easy as Nevelet, so it's very convenient to play with him though. And third one, if you need a flexible character, you kind of want to just can be put like as a main DPS, as a sub DPS, then yeah, you can pull for Ayato. And you want to play in very different like various of team, then Ayato is one of the candidate also, because he can cover with a lot of different team reaction though. So that's actually things maybe if you like that. And the last one, if you really like the character or the gameplay itself, then pull for Ayato. And my recommendation to not pull Ayato is at first, if you need a very solid sub DPS, then don't pull for Ayato because he is good, okay, as a sub DPS, but of course it's not very solid one or solid one, no. Because if you want solid one, let's say like Yelan, right? So don't pull for him if you really want a very, very good one. Second, you already have more than 4 main DPS. I don't think you need more than that. And yeah, you can skip Ayato. And third one, if you want to play in the meta team, don't pull for Ayato. I don't think Ayato have meta team, but as a character, I think he can be meta maybe in the future. But for the team right now, he doesn't have a really meta team because any meta team right now getting excelled by other hero characters. So yeah. Alright, let's talk about the early constellation or the signature weapon. And let's start with the Furina. So for Furina, should you get the early constellation or the signature weapon? For me, getting the Constellation is more kind of better or kind of worth overall. Either like C1, C2 just feel better than signature weapon. The signature weapon actually didn't give you so much upgrade, at the most around 15%, something like that. Usually signature weapon can give around 20%, something like that. So it's kind of a little bit less than usual kind of value for me, because that signature actually good. It's just like you need a lot of energy recharge in Furina, so you kind of need to put energy recharge sense most of the case in your signature unless you have a very good subset. Because of that, it kind of nerfed that signature weapon, because the signature weapon doesn't have energy regeneration. So because of that, like fastering desire itself that have like energy recharge subset, it kind of make the gap between signature and a couple of the forces not so much different. So because of that, most of the case just go for the Constellation. And the C1 also pretty much good though. You getting increase in your fanfare limit, and also like in here it's getting easier for you to get your stack though, so it literally feels a lot more convenient compared than before. So your damage also will increase, right, indirectly. So that's why it's usually better in general compared to get signature weapon. For Baizhu, early Constellation or weapon itself, if you aim for C2, then C2 already better than weapon, because C2 will give you Baizhu more than your application itself, and of course more damage and healing. This is technically the most like main selling point, is that it become like C2 Yelan. It give more Dendo application, which is what the lack from Baizhu itself. We want more application for Dendo, which this is a very good, nice quality of life for me. But if you only aim for C1, then I would say weapon is better, because weapon also kind of buff the damage itself and give more like energy. This one only give energy. But again, if you think again, Constellation sometimes can be easier to get compared to weapon, that you have to lose like 2 times if you have the worst like. So sometimes it can be better this one though. So in the end, if you just don't care about value, I will rank that C2, weapon, then C1. As for Cyno, early Constellation or the signature weapon, it actually depends on what you have in your account. Let's say you already have like Deathmatch, or even you already have Deathmatch R5 or the new Battle Pass weapon, the another like polearm one, then I suggest to get C2, because the difference between signature weapon and Deathmatch R5, you can even check in my comparison, it's not that much. And I believe also the new Battle Pass weapon also quite as good as Deathmatch in term for Cyno itself. So the gap I don't believe will be so much different with Scarlet Sun. Then getting C2 is a lot better, because it will increase like your electro damage bonus in your normal attack, which is good in general, just giving more value compared to signature weapon. But other than that, the less priorities of course C1, because this is not only normal attack speed, it's increased but as in damage, but it's just a little bit. But if you don't have those weapons, then going for Scarlet Sign will be a little bit better compared to getting like even until C2. But even then you decide to getting C2 with Scarlet Sign, the difference is not so much. So in the end, it just depends on what you prefer. But if you of course compare like Scarlet Sun with C1, of course Scarlet Suns. As for Ayato, should you go for early Constellation or the weapon itself? I would say if you're going for C2, then C2 is a little bit better than going for weapon, just because, not because this only Constellation, you will also get this one, right? So you accumulate these two, it's a little bit better compared to getting weapon. But of course, if you just judge by Constellation to itself, it's around as good as weapon itself though. So if I have to rank, going for C2 is a little bit better than weapon, then weapon is actually better than C1. C1 may looks very good, but again, it's very situational. You need like HP 50% or less, but getting weapon, it's more consistent every single time without any requirement. That's why I say weapon still better than C1. So pretty much that's it for Wushu People Edition in 4.2, or I have to say I should not make that as a title probably, because I believe you already even know what I will choose as verdict in 4.2. But hey, at least I just give you some of the pros and cons for these characters so you have better idea, right? But yeah, if you again ask my verdict, of course, is Furina, because Furina is actually kind of have interesting kits, unique, it's a buffer, it's a versatile, it's typical character that I usually recommend for the people, because it will have so much like usage, because you can pair with different teams and stuff like that, and makes kind of valuable. So yeah, it's easy choice is Furina itself. And yeah, if you like this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button and like, and I will see you next time, and have a good luck in your pool.